Oui, on va pas s'attarder seulement dessus.
Yeah, we will not focus on only one US team player. We know we have several very good players. So we won't focus on one player because that's not the way to go. We will see how the group works. We know they have actual good players on the sides. They are good on the sides. So we know that they have good players in every area of the pitch. But for me, the target is to focus on the block, on the group. So that's how we will be focusing to try and stop them.
Thank you so much for your time, Coach. We'll continue the microphone at the press conference with Stefan Ebel. Andrea Canales, go ahead. America Blatcher, go ahead.
Oui, Bobol, quel est ton
Hey, Bobol, how do you feel before this game against the USA? Hello, same spirit as it was at the beginning of the competition. We had to win games and reach our targets. So we always have the same state of mind.
Gail Martin, go ahead.
Gail Martin. Hello, Gail, Gaspar. Here's my question. We saw you came up in the second half. You were not in the starting 11 for the game against Canada. What did you live during that game, and which elements would you like to bring in your game coming in against the US? Hey there. Yeah, I'll see how it goes. Given that we had the result on the first game, we made some individual mistakes and conceded goals. We're going to follow the instructions of the coach to improve what needs to be improved. Gail Martin, go ahead. Yes, regarding the USA, what side of their game have you been preparing to face? Well, we are listening to the coach, but we're not going to talk tactics. The game is tomorrow, so we have been preparing in training, and tomorrow we'll see what happens. It'll be different than against Canada. America Larcher. Aren't you fearful to face the US against them playing home? No, this is my fourth competition. We've always played against them. It's not the same group as usual, so we'll see what we can do tomorrow. We've been working hard for this, and let's see if tomorrow we're able to do what we'll have to do.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Sean Gooden.
Hey, Walker, sorry for the delay there. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hey, just a quick question for you. I work for the Kansas City Star. So, just your time playing in the league and, the team being here. I'm not sure if you saw the big poster in downtown Kansas City, we won the World Cup one. I'm just curious, not so much the facilities, but just what have you seen of the culture of soccer in Kansas City, and what kinds of sense do you get of soccer in this city?
Well, Kansas City is great. It's a great host city. We can actually see that sign from our hotel. Is why we were laughing. We're actually can see it out the window right now. So I think Kansas City has a great environment. Their fans are very passionate. It's a very difficult place to play because of how intense the fans are, the environment that all the fans give. And so it's one of our favorite places to play now is, when those fans are rooting for you rather than against you.
Dave Sutton.
David, unmute yourself, please.
Walker, Dave Sattler with ESPN. What's it going to take for you to be a key part of this World Cup qualifying campaign that starts in September?
I think, not to get ahead of this tournament, but I think it starts with this tournament and playing well, performing well while I'm here. Being a leader for this group and trying to encourage my teammates and get the best out of them, and focus on winning Gold Cup. I think if we win Gold Cup, that means probably that individuals are playing well. Team will obviously be playing well, and so that should only help my personal chances come qualifying.
Daniel Nora.
Hi, Walker. How are you? Thank you for doing this. I just want to know if you noticed something from Martinique from the first game that concern you. What do you think is their biggest asset?
Without giving too much away of the game plan and the strategy there, they're a great team. They're a team that we cannot go in there and get confident, get ahead of ourselves. Every game in competitive football is difficult. It's not a friendly, and that's what we gotta kind of get through our heads. Is this is a competition. We're here to win it, and so they're here to win it as well. And coming off of a loss, they're going to be knowing that they have to get a result to make it out of the group. And so they'll come in with a lot of intensity, a lot of effort. We hope to have a lot more of the ball and be able to work them around in possession. And but again, it's a competition where anything can happen, and we have to come in with the right mindset and intensity to make sure that we can come out on top.
Brian Napier.
Hey, Walker. So obviously against Haiti, the right side was where a lot of the your success in attack was happening with yourself, Kellen, and Shaq Moore. With Shaq in particular, how was it playing with him as he came in that role with Reggie's injury? And what did you like about the game that you two had paired in defense?
It was great. I thought Shaq had a great game, especially given the circumstances. That was actually our first time on the field together because of the late scratch for Reggie. And so Shaq came in, he was prepared mentally. He was very focused. I noticed that very early as he was trying to bring some intensity, communication early and warm-ups and everything to get going. And I felt like we just talked well throughout the whole game, kind of figuring out as we went along about how to sort out certain things defensively. And then certainly offensively, we saw him get forward a bunch in the first half and create good angles, good passing angles for me. So I was very pleased with our effort over there, and hopefully there's more to come.
Larry Henry.
Hey, Walker, thanks for the time. Just wanted to talk about your relationship with Miles Robinson. Obviously, you've played with a bunch of different center backs in your time in MLS and also with the national team. But overall, just wanted to talk about your growing relationship with him and how do you think you complement one another on the field? Thank you.
Yeah, it's been great getting to know Miles on and off the field. Such a great guy, very hardworking individual, and certainly has a lot of physical tools that are unique and special. And that's what has gotten him here. I think, you look at his time in Atlanta, he's improved on the ball, and we certainly know how fast he is. And so his ability to cover space, eat up space, be aggressive in duels, all those are traits that are extremely positive for the group. And it's our job to kind of get the best out of him in those ways. And so it's been great. One game in the books for us, and we look forward to growing that partnership throughout the rest of this tournament.
Take one last question, Ryan Talmadge.
Hey, Walker, last game at different points, we saw you guys switch from a 4 at the back to a 5 or 3 at the back, whatever you want to call it. And looking at this group in particular, what kind of changes, when that change is made, how do you guys kind of want to play with these players in this situation when you do kind of make those changes in formation?
Yeah, all that starts on the training field, and it starts with being prepared to adapt. And so last game was later in the game, I think about 15, 20 minutes left. Subs on James Sands, comes in, does a great job for a first cap guy, had the composure that he did. I thought he was great. And so, yeah, certainly it's a look that we could see later on in the tournament. We're always prepared with multiple formations and work on that in training. But yeah, I thought it was a good change for us to be able to see out the game.
Thank you so much for your time. Now we conclude the first part of the press conference. I would like to invite head coach Greg Berhalter. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
Welcome, coach.
Hello.
We'll start with a question of Stephen Goff.
Thank you.
Hey, Greg. Just want to get updates on Paul Arriola and Reggie Cannon, where they stand, whether they'll be available tomorrow, how they're recovering.
So both have made progress with their injury, but both are out for the game tomorrow.
Sean Goodwin.
Hey, Greg, I was just chatting to Walker. He told me the giant poster they put up in Kansas City for the World Cup is right opposite your guys' hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know last week we talked about the facilities here, but I'm just curious, the soccer culture itself and, the time you played in the league, obviously, and then, now being a coach, just what do you see and think of the soccer culture here in Kansas City?
I think it's great. I think what's really good about it is its growth. When you think about, the Kansas City Wizards, the growth of that franchise and how they've been able to expand and grow their facilities, grow their fan base, reinvent themselves as a brand, gain that momentum, engage the community like they have. Peter Vermees has done a fantastic job of tying in the community to the club. The ownership group has done a great job of tying the community to the club. And, you can see it's an integral part of this city. I walk around, you see the trams with the Sporting KC on, buildings are painted with Sporting KC on. So it definitely has a footprint in the city, and that speaks to the soccer culture that's here in Kansas City.
David Sutlin.
Yeah, Greg, what do you want to see from your team tomorrow night?
We just want to continue to improve, continue to get better. This group is a young group, a group that hasn't been together for a long time, hasn't been together with each other. So, for us, it's just about continuing to get better. And that's the goal of this tournament. By no means did we think on game one, we were going to be the finished product.
Tenorio.
Thank you. Thanks, Greg. I'm going to throw two questions at you here, not related, so hopefully not too much here. But the first is just on transfer interest around so many different American players. Gianluca Busio has plenty. Sam Vines is nearing a deal to a club in Belgium as well. And I wonder just kind of how you perceive the changing kind of perception around American players in the market, the evolving perception, and the role that your national team plays in it. And then second, with the reports in El Salvador about fan limitations, the chance to play games, World Cup qualifier games in the United States against El Salvador. It just seems like this qualifying campaign just keeps changing and keeps bringing new challenges or new opportunities. I wonder how you look at this campaign, how you prepare for it, and what it would mean to be playing a game maybe in DC, an away game in a city like DC. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you prepare by just accepting the fact that things are in flux and things can change, and that flexibility, that agility helps you. I think if you're too fixed on what the format is, where the venues are, what the fans are going to be like, I think it leads to trouble because we're not out of this pandemic by no means, and we have to be ready to adapt, and this is part of it. Regarding the player transfer rumors and those things, it seems like, and from my experience in Europe and experience in MLS, is that we've gotten to a point where there's critical mass. And what I mean by that is we've had enough American players that have been successful overseas in Europe that now clubs are looking at the United States as a market. And now, they're focusing on us for our young players to bring them in and develop them or continue their development and then, potentially resell them. And I think it's a good point that we're at, credit Major League Soccer and U.S. Soccer for the development academy that started years ago. And now we're seeing the fruits of that. But you know that it's common that you see that where you know in Major League Soccer, for example, you know, a few Venezuelans came over and have been successful. And then you see an influx of Venezuelans, or you know, that's completely normal. And I'm glad we're at a point now in the United States that Europe's really shining a light on us.
Larry Henry.
Hi, Greg. Thanks for the time. Just wanted to ask about your center back partnership from Sunday night, Walker Zimmerman, Miles Robinson. Overall, what did you think of them, that pairing together and how they did? And how do you think they complement each other going forward in this tournament? Thank you.
I think they did well. You know, they were put in some, you know, precarious situations, and they dealt with it in a good way. I think, you know, maybe if I was critical of one thing, it could be build up that you know, we could have controlled build up a little bit better with our center backs. But they can, you know, the first thing we asked for is intensity, and they certainly brought intensity. I think they defended the penalty box really well, and you know, they played good together. So it was nice to see.
Charles William.
Hey, Greg, I guess this is a two-parter, but it's about two players who maybe have some similarities. I wanted to get your thoughts on what you've seen from Eric Williamson and Matthew Hoppe, where they are in your plans, and maybe why they've had sort of a, I don't know, late arriving trajectory into the national team, and you know, whether you've seen what you wanted to from them thus far.
Yeah, I'd be curious to understand how Matthew Hoppe has been a late arrival, but you know, I think that is what it is. He was in the Nations League camp. You know, he's how old is he? 20 years old. You know, just broke into Schalke, and you know, got an opportunity. He's getting an opportunity with the national team. So I think that's, you know, to me, he's, you know, he's earned it through his play at Schalke. He's done a really good job. He came on, he scored goals, you know, in a difficult league to score goals, and did a good job, and you know, earned his spot. You know, Eric was actually in the Gold Cup pre-camp in 2019, and we were able to work with him. So you know, we've seen that a couple of years ago already. You know, it was unfortunate at the end of last year he got picked up a little injury, and I don't think was able to show his best in last January camp. So, but now he's back to fitness, and you know, Eric's a really interesting player. You know, we've enjoyed working with him. Very technical player. I think he sees things sometimes that other people don't see on the field. The final pass, the combination. You know, that's been really nice to see in training. And now it's about getting an opportunity at the next level and proving it in a game at the next level. And that's what it always is. That's the, you know, the measuring stick for these guys is, can they do it in a competitive fixture? And you know, hopefully we'll get to see him in this tournament do that.
We'll take one last question. Anthony Christensen.
Hi, Coach. I just wanted to know what you've seen of Martinique, how you're preparing for that. Obviously, a team that you guys haven't really faced a ton in the past, and when you have, they've given you guys trouble. I know you weren't the coach in 2017, but that was a game that was a little bit of a scare. So how are you guys looking at that game, or this coming game, and how are you preparing for them?
We prepare very similar to every other opponent. We give them a lot of respect. We look at their strengths. We look at their weaknesses. We think about a way that we can hurt them in a way that we won't be hurt. You know, Martinique's a good team. They have some good attacking players. Fortune on the left wing, it was excellent. Very good dribbler. The forward up front, Rivera, really good forward. Is played in the Serie A. They got experienced center backs. You know, for me, it's an older team, an experienced team. And it's going to be a difficult game. You know, we're not expecting an easy game by any means.